All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome to the live stream. Tomorrow, we're taking a little road trip to the New York Audio Show. I don't know if anybody here is an audiophile. Hands raised if you guys love listening to music. But tomorrow is the 2018 Audio Show in New York City at the Park Lane Hotel. If anybody is in New York City, stop by. We're going to be there for a few hours, maybe 3 or 4 hours, checking out some speakers. I'm sure there's going to be a ton of turntables. I was looking at some past videos on YouTube about it. A lot of turntables. But we're going to be there. We picked up a gimbal the other day, so we're going to try that out. Hopefully we're going to get some nice smooth footage in there. A little excited for that. That's all good. But let's talk about the weekly recap. What did we accomplish this week? This week we saw Superman on 4K. Superman 4K. Anybody fan of Superman? I know the movie came out sometime like 78 or 76 or something. But I thought the transfer was surprisingly soft. I get it that they shot it in a certain way, that it's not 4K digital sharp. I know some people were like, oh, hey, man, it's supposed to look that way. But I know when we pick up these movies, we kind of expect a certain level of 4K sharpness. What's up, Matt? And, we just didn't get that here, which I was kind of anticipating since it was so old, that it wasn't going to be razor sharp. But since I'm a fan, I remember seeing Superman when I was a kid at the theater when I was like 2 or something like that. When that music first comes up, that Superman theme. A little bit of nostalgia there. So that was awesome sounding, especially in Atmos. You get the little whooshing sounds that fly overhead. That was really good. HDR in that. Nothing fantastic. But overall, still the best it's ever looked. I know some of you guys kind of felt the same way. And then some of the professional reviewers, obviously, they loved it because it represented what it's supposedly supposed to look like. But I gotta rate it for today's standards. It's not exactly a barn burner for 4K crispiness. So I had to give it a 6.8, I think it was. Although the new audio mix was pretty banging. Great audio mix. Although the whooshing sound at the beginning was a little bit louder than the orchestra mix in the left and right channels. So that was a little distracting, but other than that, everything was spot on. Everything sounded really good. 2001: A Space Odyssey. I actually had that a couple of weeks ago, but 2001 is one of those movies that is really long. You ever see 2001? Yeah, that's one of those movies I guess you really got to be into. I don't think I've ever really sat in through the entire duration. I did started watching it, and I didn't realize there's 3 minutes of blackness at the beginning. So I sat there for like a minute, and I was like, oh my god, my HDMI cables are messed up, or something's wrong here. My projector screwed up. I went, paused it, went and checked all my cables. I was like, what is going on here? Put on a different movie. I was like, yo, that's working fine. So I had to Google it, and then I came to the realization that yes, it's like 2 minutes and 28 seconds of just black. But yeah, I started watching after I got past the first 3 minutes. It does look very good, especially for its age. It does look like we shot yesterday. There's some scenes, especially when they're in space, when they go and check out the monolith in space. That was actually pretty nice looking, very nice and crispy looking. Other times it just had that film grain softness. Not really a lot of grain, but just softness to it. A little bit better than I would say Superman was. Better than that for sure. But if I was gonna give it a rating, maybe like an 8. It's a good looking movie. Not something that I'd watch multiple times. I just sat through maybe like 2 hours of it, and then I fell asleep halfway, and then I woke up. I'm not even sure what happened at the ending. But it's a good looking movie though. And then the audio mix, it's an Atmos, but it didn't sound that different from the original mix. So I think there's some other reviews out there online, or I think Andrew did it on AR Media. He's got a review of it up, and his reviews are always good. So it looked good. I thought it looked good. It wasn't crazy good, but it was decent looking. So that's why I didn't do it. I just couldn't sit through the whole thing. Sorry, I know it's a favorite of everybody's. I know I did that poll, and then after I did the poll, Superman was winning. Then after I dropped Superman, everybody upvoted 2001. So I just didn't want to go back and do it. Next up, Incredibles 2. I was going to shoot Incredibles 2, the review today, but we're kind of busy packing up for the trip for tomorrow. So I'll just give some thoughts on it really quick right now. Incredibles 2, as far as I know, it's got a 2K DI. Obviously, it's animated. It's for an animated movie. Wasn't really like bold or vibrant or anything like that. I actually think the Blu-ray was a little bit brighter, a little bit more colorful. The 4K Blu-ray for The Incredibles 2, I thought it was kind of dim. It was also a little bit of a very warm looking as well. I think there's a little bit of red push in it, or maybe like an orange. So some scenes were a lot warmer on the 4K than they were on the Blu-ray. Colors were definitely more saturated, a bit more richer on the 4K. Shadow detail, I don't want to say a little bit better on the 4K. So I actually think I saw a little bit more on the Blu-ray. But there was also some more banding on the Blu-ray, whereas the 4K didn't have any banding, except for the intro where they were doing an interrogation, and the scene kind of pans downwards, and you can see where the light bulb is. There's some banding there. I noticed that. That's the first thing I noticed when I watched it. But sharpness-wise, it's got a 2K DI for a cartoon. It just wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. I mean, if I was going to rate it, I'd probably just give it maybe for an animation, maybe like 7.8, 7.9, just for picture quality. Incredibles 2, 7.9 maybe. Not quite an 8. It was alright, just detail just wasn't that different than the Blu-ray, and edges, crispiness, sharpness just not what I was expecting. But audio was really good though. There's some really good bass in it. Not like the other Disney mixes where, it wasn't that dynamic. Usually I keep it on my receiver at a 60, and it sounded just normal, just like any other movie sounds. Bass was good. Wasn't crazy good bass, but definitely rumbled the room, especially the first 2 chapters, I think it was, where they're fighting the Underminer, and he's that big drill's coming out of the ground. There's a lot of bass there. Pretty good dynamics, I thought. Not crazy good dynamics, but much better than some of those Marvel movies. Overhead effects were really good as well, especially during the action moments when Elastigirl is kind of following that train. You can hear her zipping around, topping the Atmos height effects. That was really good. Third act too, when they're in that plane, kind of dive bombing or whatever they were doing. That was good. A lot of Atmos effects there as well. So good mix overall. If I was going to rate that, I'd say 8.5 for Atmos for Incredibles 2. I enjoyed it. I just didn't think it was 4K crisp, especially for a Pixar animated movie. Well, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't rush out and get The Incredibles 2. It didn't look that amazing. We did the receiver review, the Marantz 6013. 6013, man, that's a good receiver. I don't rate receivers, but if I was going to get a receiver and I had a $1,500 budget, I think that would definitely be on the short list, especially since it doesn't have Oro 3D, but I'm not the biggest fan of Oro 3D. I know a lot of you guys, I've mentioned you guys like it because it's got some good upmixing, but I usually don't upmix my movies. If it's in 5.1, I'll listen to it in 5.1. If it's 7.1, whatever it is, I try to listen to it in its native format. But, apparently it has some good upmixing, but there's just nothing out there to buy, at least here in the States, North America. There's nothing to buy in Oro 3D. So my room's not even set up for it. I know the Voice of God speaker. If there was some more stuff on 4Ks, Blu-rays, or just anything to buy, I would for sure pick it up, but there's just nothing. I think you can go to Technodad. Technodad's got a review up Spider-Man, I think, or something. But he had to get it imported for Germany or the UK. which I'm not going to do for just one movie. But other than that, the 6013, you know, it's got Atmos, it's got DTS-X. You get the best flavor of Odyssey XT32. I'm not the biggest fan of Odyssey, but if you have the app, you can definitely, you know, kind of tune the sound to your liking. If you guys want to get rid of those dips and valleys and peaks, you can do that in the app. It's a little time consuming to kind of use the app though, because it's all like finger controlled. So if you want to get down to the single digit hertz, it's really hard to do. I had a hard time doing it. I kind of gave up. I just kind of limited Odyssey calibration to like 300 hertz on down, just to do my bass. But yeah, solid performer if you guys are looking for that receiver. Again, it's only I think it's like 110 watts per channel, and all channels driven. I think it's somewhere rated like maybe like 75 or 80 watts. I think it was. I think somebody did a test on it. So you're not going to get 110 watts per all, 9 channels, obviously. But dynamics were really good on it. It did struggle a little bit. I mean, I did mention in the video my speakers are kind of power hungry. So I mean, once you start pushing a receiver, especially on my speakers, they'll kind of make them struggle a little bit. But I kind of like normal listening levels. That receiver was very dynamic. It sounded really good, especially with like some music. Now I'll put in a bunch of music, some live music. Put in some Nirvana. I know it's like your favorite band. Put in some Nirvana, of course. Some like, we put some hip hop in there as well. His favorite band, Coldplay Live. You like Coldplay? That sounded really good as well. So really good jack of all trades kind of receiver. 6013. Can't beat it. Check it out. Go to your local Best Buy, Magnolia, PC Richards, whatever you guys got over there. Future Shop, Canada, I think. What else did we do? Oh, another Marantz product. Not a lot of love for this one on the channel. The Marantz PM10. Picked it up a while ago. A couple months ago. It was like a month and a half ago we got that. The $8,000 PM10. Killer deal. I bought that to drive the Marantz. I mean, the Martin Logan's, the electrostats. Unfortunately, I took a video. I was doing the review for the ESLs for the Martin Logan's, which I used the PM10 with. So that was all ready to go. I don't know what happened. I transferred all my videos over, but then I was cleaning out the hard drive, and I think I deleted all the footage that I tested with that integrated for speaker review. So I gotta start all over again with that review, because I know everybody's always asking me. There's a few you audio guys that, when are you gonna do the Martin Logan review? I kind of boned it up. I deleted all my footage, but I'm waiting for I'm trying to get this Macintosh integrated in. Waiting to get that. Then I got a bunch of other speaker reviews I'm gonna do. So once that comes in, I gotta reshoot the Martin Logan review. But yeah, the PM10 Marantz. That thing weighs like 2 receivers put together. It's like twice of what the Marantz 6013 weighs. Just really long, stout, very heavy, like straight aluminum build. Very robust. I mean, I don't want to be like, it feels like an $8,000 piece of equipment, but it's quality though. It's heavy. It was heavy. I'd have Patrick bring it upstairs for me. It was hurting my back. But yeah, man, that thing's really musical. We sat here, we listened to a bunch of music. Fucking great, transparent, integrated. You can run it in just straight amplifier mode, or if you've got a DAC, you can hook it up with that, or a turntable. I don't have any turntables, but I'm assuming it would sound really good. I'm not a turntable or vinyl guy, so sorry. I know some of you guys are mentioning, hey man, pick up a turntable. But yeah. Well, yeah, Patrick's going to pick up a turntable. But that's a great piece of gear. Audiophiles out there, check it out. I'm pretty sure that's actually going to be at the show tomorrow in New York City. That's what I was told. So that's going to be there, hooked up to their SA10 reference standard CD player / media streamer. I probably should have picked that up, but I didn't. And big news, big purchase this week for me at least. Picked up the new iPad. Who picked up the new iPad Pro? I know it's a lot of money. I didn't go all out. I know Brass Tacks picked up the 12.9 incher, all decked out with the 1 terabyte. So I think he dropped something like $2,000 on it. That's a little bit ridiculous for an iPad. But I think it's a little ridiculous that I spent $800 for the iPad, especially when it does everything that my Air 2 did. But it does everything a lot quicker, a lot smoother, a lot snappier. Although they did get rid of the headphone jack. Not happy about that. It's not like there isn't any room here for a headphone jack. You can totally put a headphone jack here. I don't know why they want to force everybody to buy Bluetooth headphones and AirPods. But I hate that trend. I don't think they're going to get rid of headphone jacks for like ever, especially if you're into audio. But man, this whole headphone jack on mobile devices just disappearing. It's a travesty. All right, so enough of the headphone rant. But yeah, I love this iPad Pro. I bought the 11-inch. I think this is like the perfect size. Not too big, not too unwieldy. Great build quality as well. I love it. Just costs a lot of money. Last thing I did was the SVS PC4000 cylinder review, ported cylinder 4000. I've had their original cylinder subwoofers forever. They take up a little bit of space. They put out a lot of bass. I think it's a great value. I know $1,800 for a subwoofer is kind of a lot of money, but you do get a great app on that. I was able to dial in my room just like super quick using the Room EQ Wizard. Anybody loves Room EQ Wizard? I don't know if you guys have ever used it. If you guys are in a home theater, then Room EQ Wizard, you guys should definitely learn how to use that. But yeah, man, the cylinder subwoofer, man, PC4000, great subwoofer. I'm trying to get a second one in here because one is good, but two is going to be even better. That with the PB16, crazy. I think it's a bit overkill for my small room here. But check out the review if you guys are into, obviously, home theater. Check out the cylinder subwoofers. All right, so we took a few questions. We got emailed a few questions on like Facebook and through email. So I just want to tackle a couple of those. So first one, I think this guy emailed me. His name is Sahin Aiden. I think I'm saying that right. If you're watching this, pretty sure I butchered your name. But he goes, can I ask how you go with movies that have a variable aspect ratio? Do you just set the projector to constant image height and leave the anamorphic lens in place the whole time, including when in Kodi? Hope to hear back from you soon. Thank you. Well, Sahin, since I do have an anamorphic lens in front of the projector, it's a fixed lens, so it's not motorized, it doesn't move in and out. Yes, it always stays in place. Even if I'm watching something like The Dark Knight or any of the Marvel movies that have the switching aspect ratios. So I don't get the switching aspect. It's always stuck in its 2:3:9 aspect ratio. So if there's an IMAX scene that pops up, then I'm just going to lose that top and bottom information. If I want to get the full experience, get the IMAX scenes, then since I have an Oppo 203, I can set it to 16:9 mode, because usually it's in 21:9 mode. So I can set it to 16:9 mode. So it'll give me the black bars on the left and the right side instead of on the top and the bottom. So I'll get the black bars on the left and the right. But then the only thing that sucks is that if there's no IMAX scenes, I get black bars on the left and right. Then I also get them on the top and the bottom. So it's like this little rectangle right in the center of my screen. And then when an IMAX scene pops up, then it fills the entire center of the screen in the 16:9 aspect ratio. But if you really think about it, there's a handful of movies in Marvel that have the switching aspect ratios. There's a few other movies. Obviously, Christopher Nolan has some IMAX shot films. Other than that, really, there's not too much out there for me to worry about. Would I rather have a 16:9 screen, or would I rather have a CinemaScope screen, which is like something like 90% of movies are shot in? So I went with the lesser of two evils, and I went with the 21:9 screen, which I think is the smartest way to do because most movies are shot that way. That way I don't get black bars And I don't have to go crazy about thinking, did I waste my money on a TV since I'm getting black bars on top and the bottom? When in actuality, the best way to watch it would be natively in the 21:9 aspect ratio. So if you're if you're a diehard movie guy and you're really into home theater and you have a projector, the best way to enjoy movies is with a 21:9 screen. That's really, it takes up the whole peripheral. You're sitting here, you literally have to move your head a little bit back and forth because my screen's right there. So it's so big, it takes up your peripheral vision. Whereas I used to have the 16:9 screen and it would just kind of just fill in right in the center. So best way, 21:9 all day long. Yes, I miss those IMAX scenes, but that really doesn't bother me too much. All right, next question. Thanks for the question there, Saheen. Thanks for the email. Next question I got was from Derek Power. This was on Facebook. Guys, if you hit me up on Facebook, I typically don't answer on Facebook because I get a billion of them, and I'll be answering all day on Facebook. He says, Derek Power says, hi guys, just torn between the Oppo 203 and the Panasonic UB820. Have an A1 OLED from Sony, so wondering which would most suit my TV. Any help appreciated. Love the channel. Well, since Derek wants to know, would he go with 203 or the 820? I have owned both of them. The only one that has survived would be the Oppo. I still own it. I still have the 203, but that's in the living room though. If I were you, I mean, if you don't already have the 203, then I probably wouldn't go out and buy it because I think, everybody's putting a premium on them right now. I think they're going to be like collector's items. But they're on eBay for like $1,000 or something like that. So people are kind of like, they're marking them up super high. But right now, I would actually just go with the Panasonic UB820. It's got the dynamic HDR optimizer. I forgot what it's called. I don't know if that's the actual name or not, but you can set your tone curves and all that. It'll just map it on the fly. So you can set your nit rating, or I forget what it's called, the nit limit to like 200 nits or 300 or whatever. So you can kind of set it to what your TV is capable of. So if you've got an OLED TV, I think he's got the A1, he said, you can set it to like 700 nits, or you can set it, there's a preset for like OLEDs, and there's a preset for like LCD, which kind of limits it to how bright your image can get, and it'll kind of tone map it down so you can still get some nice highlight detail and good shadow detail without clipping it or overblowing it, which the Oppo doesn't do, at least not dynamically. You can kind of force tone mapping. You can limit it. I forgot what the scale is, something from like 100 all the way up to like 4,000. But I think Panasonic's implementation is a bit better. Especially you can set like your shadow detail and your highlight detail. You can kind of dial that in. I'm pretty sure I'm not naming the correct menu items the correct way, but you can set like your white detail and your black detail, which I was able to actually make my projector look a lot better with the 820. The only thing the 820 is missing, again, with the anamorphic lens, you're missing the 16:9 or the 21:9 mode, which is kind of like super important. Like I need that. And the Panasonic player just doesn't do it. Now, if the Panasonic UB9000 does it, then I may have to jump ship, but I don't think that's released yet. So I hope to get that in soon, but that is like $1,000 player. So Derek Power, if you're going to pick up a player between the 203 and the 820, I would go with the 820. It's probably on sale too. Go to Best Buy. It was like $500. It's probably a little bit less now. So thanks for the question, Derek. Next one. This is from Brian Martin from Facebook as well. Brian's been asking me this question like forever. I just haven't gotten around to answer it. Sorry, I think he's been asking me this question since like April. He goes, should I be upset that the Spider-Man 3 editor's cut is not in 4K and only the theatrical cut is? Because I kind of feel like the editor's cut is an improvement. Well, I probably wouldn't be upset. I don't think it's going to come to 4K, but I wouldn't be upset about it. Honestly, I don't think there's much of a difference between the Blu-ray and the 4K version of these Spider-Man movies. I wasn't too high on them. I thought they were a little grainy, if I recall correctly. They weren't particularly sharp either, or richly detailed or anything like that. If you're already, Brian, if you already got the regular Blu-ray, I would just stick with that version, but I wouldn't be upset about it. So thanks for the question, Brian. Sorry, I've kind of neglected it since like April, but we've tackled it now. One more question from Ajanovic Farudin. I know I'm saying that wrong too. So his question is, despite everything you have experienced with the newest LG E8 and Bravia AF9, would you recommend a Bravia or LG? Well, between the AF9 and the E8, I think the winner is, I think it was kind of controversial maybe, the AF9 did beat out the LG this year. I was kind of rooting for the LG, but I think the shadow detail was a little bit better. You were there, right? You like the LG, didn't you? I would. Well, it's a tough question. It's a really tough question. I mean, I personally would probably get the Sony, just for the mere fact I do enjoy the acoustic surface because it does have. I've heard it many times. You do get the center channel, left, right, and center channel. And you were talking about getting a JBL soundbar as well. You could actually put a JBL, or I mean a subwoofer onto it. So just without the subwoofer, that TV sounds really good. It sounds like, like an actual soundbar is coming out of the screen. Like the audio on the AF9, E9F, it's really good. I know the E8 has that little slim sliver of a soundbar on the bottom as well. Plus it looks kind of ugly because it has the soundbar, and then it has that piece of glass that's kind of hanging off the bottom. If you're hanging it on your wall, it looks dumb. It looks alright if it's on the stand, but if you're mounting it on your wall, that really bothers me. Like I hate that little piece of tempered glass that kind of hangs off the bottom of the E8. But image quality wise, man, you might be really hard pressed to see the difference between both of those, really. Unless you had them, side by side. I think there were some areas where the A9 looked better than the LG, and then there were some areas where the LG looked better than the A9. I believe there was a scene in Gravity where they just showed that shot of all the stars. I don't know if that was in the video or not, but there was that scene where Sandra Bullock's character is kind of floating in space, and there's a lot of stars. Remember that? Yeah, and there was like a lot of stars, and they have the reference monitor that was right underneath both OLEDs, so you can kind of compare all three to see if it matched the reference monitor. And I think the Sony did match the reference monitor just a little bit more closely than the LG did. I mean, unless you're there, I mean, I know some people are kind of like, hey man, these things are staged, whatever, but those guys are pros. They've been doing this stuff for a long time. There's that Hollywood colorist that was there. Mm-hmm. He worked on the Marvel movies, or not the Marvel movies, all kinds of stuff. And he's a TV show colorist. Yeah, that's like their job. But between those two TVs, I mean, tough choice. I would literally go, if I was going to put my decision on the E8 or the A9. They both have their strengths and weaknesses. I would still do the A9 just because I just like the features better on it. I think it's more aesthetically pleasing as well. Just look better. But you most likely be kind of hard pressed to see a difference between those two, especially like HDR content. That was like really tough. That was a tough one to judge when we were there. Yeah, let's not talk about Samsung. That just didn't look good. That didn't look good at all. So Ajanovic, I would say go with the Sony. But your choice. Let us know what you think. All right, last question is from Aaron Tamayo. Hey, enjoy the channel. Do you take Facebook questions? 65-inch 900F will be $1,600 on Black Friday. 65-inch Z9D is currently $2,000. Assuming I can afford either, which do you think is the better buy? Also, when are your live QAs? Oh, well, it's right now. All right, well, Aaron, if I was going to pick between the 900F and the Z9D, I think it's pretty obvious. If you can still get the Z9D, I'll go with the Z9D. It's clearly just a better TV overall. Just looks better. The backlighting is better. There's less blooming. I have the 900F. Blooming. I actually think the Z9F actually had a little bit more blooming than the X900F. You know, if you believe that one. But yeah, if I was going to do the X900F or the Z9D, I would still do the Z9D. I know it's a bit older now, but if you're just going to go based on image quality, the Z9D, I mean, sorry. the Z9D is has the better image over the 900F. All these numbers. So do it. $400 more if you can still get it. Plus, that's 3D. If you love 3D movies, hey man, the Z9D has 3D. Do it up. Whatever you get, let us know. Thanks for your question, Aaron. So let's take a couple questions here on the stream. Thanks for your questions. Again, if you guys have any questions, hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, email us. On the next live stream, we'll try to get to them, even if it's 4 months later. Nate says, I heard Schindler's List is getting a 4K restoration, which is weird because the Blu-ray was scanned in 4K. But why doesn't Godfather get a 4K release? I'll tell you what, I'm pretty sure Godfather will get a 4K release. Yeah. Yeah. It's a classic. It's gonna have to come in 4K. I don't doubt Godfather is not gonna come in 4K. 3D for you and me. What do you think is the best screen aspect ratio to get with a Sony 695? Cinegray or white? This is my first projector since no more 3D TVs. Well, if I was going to get one, if you have a light controlled room, I would absolutely get a white screen. If you have a little bit of ambient light, or if the projector is kind of starved for contrast, I would get the Cinegray. But I think if the 695 is anything like the 675, which I'm pretty sure it is, then I would do the white, especially if you got, you know, blacked out room with dark curtains or no windows. I would totally do the white, because then you're going to get your whites when you're watching films. The whites are going to be pure white. You're going to get a better HDR from it as well, since it's going to be pure white. You're going to get a better reflection off the white screen than you would off a gray screen. So do the white. I'll do the white. Curtis Klobernads, I am looking at subs. Could you do a demo or let me know what you think about the Sunfire HRS12? I haven't heard a Sunfire sub in years, Curtis. Maybe I'll try to reach out and see what they could do. But I haven't heard that one. I can't really speak to that one. Fred 250 says, did you ever try the monolith amplifier? I haven't, but I know if you go over to the Audioholics site, I think those boys over there, they've got that in for review. I think they have reviewed it. I've heard nothing but good stuff on it. I believe the monolith amplifiers are based on the ATI amplifiers, which are very high quality amplifiers, kind of like on the upper high end echelon of amplifier manufacturers. So I know those are rated. I know the ATI amps are awesome amps. They sound great. They're built like tanks, and the monolith is supposed to be based on that or made by them. So if you're on the fence, I would totally buy one and try it out. I'm pretty sure it's going to sound really good, and plus you can have them at a great price. White Boy asks, can you do a one-on-one consult? I could just send me an email. Let me know what you're looking for. Nate Diaz says, does he even see the questions on his chat? Kind of new to this. Yes, I do. Yes, I do, Nate. I think I just answered your question before. Can we expect Avengers 4 in IMAX enhanced format? I don't know. The only IMAX question from is Rack 35H wants to know if Avengers 4 is going to be in the enhanced format. The only IMAX enhanced movies that I know are coming out right now are going to be the IMAX documentaries. That's the only thing I'm aware of. But then, of course, you're going to have an IMAX enhanced display, TV or projector, then an IMAX enhanced like receiver or processor to pass through the IMAX enhanced signal. So I mean, you might have to go buy some new gear. So who knows how good it's going to look until we get some actual IMAX content. But I know that the movie studios, there's a few movie studios that are on board with the IMAX program. So it's one of those things that we're gonna have to wait and see. Looks like there's a little conversation about my hat being the same color as my shirt. Thanks for noticing. Big Kane 23. Hey, Big Kane's here. He's always here. What's up, Big Kane? I looked up and brought the Oppo 203 Best Buy for $415. Really? You bought that at the Best Buy? Must have been open box or something, huh? And it looks great, but I wonder with HDMI 2.1 IMAX enhanced coming soon, should I be worried? I don't think anybody has to worry about HDMI 2.1 for maybe like another couple of years. And if you're going to get a TV, get it now. Right now, we're getting some benefits of 2.1 with EARC, which is eARC. So you'll get, your lossless audio from your TV, your favorite TV apps, if it's supported, like Amazon Prime or Netflix. So that'll be going on soon. I mean, I know the Marantz and Denon receivers are supporting that now. I think they just got an update for them. But yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about that, about 2.1, because what is it? It's like the 2.1 format's going to support like 8K resolution, which I don't see 8K coming anytime soon. 4K is barely here. 4K at 60 frames per second, I think it's like 4K, like higher than that. But there's like one movie that does 4K 60. That's Billy Lynn. Everything else is at 4K 24. But no, I really wouldn't worry about 2.1 just yet. If anything, man, I'm still waiting for those 12-bit panels to hit. But if you can afford whatever you want to get right now, I would just get it. But I don't think 2.1 is like a big deal right now. Movie Man, how many 4Ks do you own? I'll be honest with you, I only have like maybe I think 100, only like 178 4Ks. Usually I'll get them and then if I don't like them, I'll just sell them off. I'll throw them on eBay or something like that. But I always keep the digitals, so the digitals, or if they're in 4K, they're in my iTunes account. So I can always rewatch them there. But I only keep the movies that I like, though. I don't like stockpile a bunch of movies. Monastery in Tibet. Did the shirt come with the hat? Is what I really want to know. No, the shirt didn't come with a hat. Monastery in Tibet. Bought the hat a long time ago. This is a very old hat. I forgot where I got it from, but it didn't come with the shirt. Although I do have a lot of gray shirts. I like gray because it's kind of a neutral color. It's not like, especially on camera, it's not like bright white or it's not black. I'm not going to disappear in the shadows. So gray is kind of like a neutral color. That's why I pick gray when I'm on the videos. My hat is cotton. It's not polyester. Carlos wants to know pros and cons, Sony Z9D or the A1E. Well, Carlos, I went through the shopping dilemma before I picked up the A1E. I was watching the scene, Batman vs Superman. I think he was going to fight Superman where the big machine guns come out of the were those machine guns at the end? Remember that? Yeah, the big machine gun turrets came out of those boxes and they were shooting Superman towards the end of the movie. And I remember seeing that scene and there was some blooming kind of on the lower end of the TV on the Z9D. And after I saw that, then I knew I couldn't live with it. I can't live with blooming on TVs. I think it's just bad. It was more severe than I thought it was going to be on the Z9D. So I opted to go with A1E. So there's your answer. I would get the A1E. I own it. Although the Z9D is still a great TV, though. Especially if it's cheaper than the A1E. But picture quality-wise, I would still do the A1. Dan M wants to know, Sony 900F IMAX new or open box LG C7? Which one? I just got a Marantz 7705. Which does IMAX Cinema? Well, if you want to be future forward, Dan M, I would go with the 900F. I mean, you do get Dolby Vision still. You have HDR10. It's going to mate up very nicely with your 7705 Marantz preamp. I would do the 900F. That's what I would do. I have it. Great TV. Damon Benjamin, are you going to switch over to JVC projectors now that they have better contrast than Sony and they have 8K upscaling projector? I plan on having a JVC projector in here probably this month. If everything goes all well, this month I should have a JVC up in here. I don't know how well the IMAX Enhanced program is going to go, because I know the Sony projectors are going to have that. So we'll have to see about that. But yeah, I came from a JVC projector before I got the Sony. The Sony looks good with its contrast, don't get me wrong, but the JVC was closer to like having an OLED black level on a large scale. That's how good those JVC black levels are. If you guys are into home theater and projectors, you're a diehard home theater guy, now the JVC's got 4K, I think that's the way to go. Naveen Kumar, hey, I'm from India. Like your Blu-ray reviews. Thanks. Best movie projector below $500. Man, that's a tough one, man. I don't think I've ever owned a projector under $500, but I'm pretty sure. I know Optoma makes some good stuff. So does BenQ. I would check out some of their stuff. Maybe like last year's offering. Some of their DLPs are decent. Black levels are not that good typically. But if you're kind of in that ballpark, I would check out the Optomas. I've had a couple in the past, but they were a little bit more though. I would check them out. You can have some good deals on those. I'll check those guys out. What are your thoughts on laser TV? Do you think it's the future or a gimmick? If I could get FB1983 wants to know a laser TV. If you're talking about like a short throw laser projector, I know Sony makes one. Theirs is like 25 grand. Hisense has one. Who else has one? Does LG have one? I don't think LG has one. Oh, Xiaomi has one as well. But you're gonna get with a laser projector. That's like 20,000 hours. That's like 8 hours a day for like the next just like decade or something like that. That's a long time. But yeah, I mean, if you can get yourself a laser projector, I would totally do it. If I could afford a laser projector instead of the one that I have, I would get the laser projector. I think it's brighter than lamp-based projectors, and longevity-wise, oh man, it's gonna last you a long time. Nuclear Crypto, what kind of subwoofer system do you use in your theater? Come on, Nuclear Crypto, you should know what kind of subs I use. I got a bunch of reviews on those subwoofers. I'm gonna go back and check those out. All right, guys, 11 o'clock. It's been 1 hour exactly. Thanks for checking out the live stream. Again, if you guys have any questions, hit us up. Social media, Instagram, Facebook. You can email us. Hit us up, questions in the comment section as well. And we'll try and get you on the next live stream. We'll try to do a little bit more next time as well. Try to do more maybe like weekly streams or something like that. But thanks, guys, for stopping by. And if it's your first time here, hit that subscribe button. And we'll see you guys again in the next one.